is G.I. Jolie from the Comic Book Syndicate, and we are back in Chicago. Can you believe it's been 15 whole years since Firefly ended? Here's a discussion with Gina Torres and Alan Tudyk.
Standing ovation, 15 years later, would you ever have thought that this little show called Firefly would still be giving and bringing in this loyal, dedicated fan base that it is?
No. I think this is as many people who were able to follow it when it was first aired. It was the exact audience size.
I think half.
But you know what?
Yeah.
That's a testament to like the way it resonates with an audience, and it's one of those projects that has just grown and gained a bigger fan base and gotten passed along to different people over the years. And you know, initially, let's go way back when you first read the Firefly script, the pilot. What were your thoughts? Did you ever think this, you know, this little western in space would work?
There was no script.
Yeah, initially there was no script.
There was no script. There was nothing to actually form an opinion on.
Until after you got the job.
Until after I got the job. No, it's absolutely true. I got an outline that was about 2-3 pages long, and it had a description of every character, and and sort of like sketched out sequences and scenes, and at the end of which it said there's no sound in space and there are no aliens. This is not an alien sci-fi show. So I went, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that was one of the things that excited me the most about it. That, and to understand, there was a scene with the dinosaur scene was the only thing that I had to read. I didn't think I got that outline. I was told that there was no sound in space and there was no aliens. There were no aliens, and then also I got that scene. I was like, all right, and asked a friend who Joss Whedon was.
Oh, that was the weirdest part too. That was weird because yes, I kind of had that same experience, and then I remember walking into the audition, and like as actors, when you get closer to getting the job, the room gets more filled with people.
Oh yeah.
Right? There are more people that have to make decisions on that level, like network people, producers, and there was only Joss. There was only ever Joss in the room, and the casting person, and that was it until we did the network, and then it was like.
Did we read with one another?
No.
No, we didn't.
Yes, when was the first time? I mean, obviously on screen, you're one of the most amazing, loving couples. I mean, everybody's so excited to see you guys here together now.
I'm dead. Too soon.
Did you first meet at the table read after you were both cast? And how did you cultivate the relationship?
Yeah, you were there.
Was there? I don't think so.
It was in a room. Yeah. It was in a room, but it was like a conferencing room. I remember it because I remember being like, oh my God, this guy is not going to be a very good captain. I remember going, I kind of thought he'd be different. And the guy goes, my name's Sean, I'm playing the doctor. And I'm like, oh good, you're going to be a good doctor. And then I met Nathan. So that had to be the first time because I didn't know who was who.
I met Nathan. I wasn't at the table read. I met Nathan at a costume fitting.
Oh wow.
And they were costuming us at the same time. And he looked at me and in my first draft of the costume, because we were wearing the exact same kinds of pants.
Tight pants.
Tight pants.
As you do in space.
As you do, that the costume designer found at some kind of flea market. I mean, they had to have been from like World War I.
Yeah.
It was before the invention of spandex, apparently, because they were just this really tough cotton. And we're all getting these things on. And Nathan looks at me and I look at Nathan, and we got these long coats on, and he says, well, the couple that dresses together stays together. Sweet. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But okay.
Not
now.
he wasn't married to you.
No. Right, that would have been you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
we
thought
did not dress the same.
We'd know.
I was in more comfy clothes. One zipper. Zip, I'm ready.
The Jack LaLanne special.
Yes,
That's what we would call it for those of you who remember Jack LaLanne. Google it.
There's something about the cast, though, not just you guys, but you and Nathan, and and Jewel and Summer. You guys all, not only are you an ensemble cast, but you guys are very close, and it just comes through on screen. I think that's another thing that made the show so watchable and relatable. How did you cultivate those? Because you guys, none of you knew each other, right?
No.
So what was the process? Joss is kind of infamous for having people over and this and that and a reading. Was he doing that in the early days of Firefly?
I've never seen the inside of Joss Whedon's house.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm okay with that. I've made my peace with that. The weird thing for me is sometimes I felt like I was in a different show. I was in the Caper show, and everyone else was on the spaceship show.
Really?
But you were my through line. Like
Connection.
you connected me to the rest of the show. Because I was out with the boys most of the time.
Yeah.
So I rarely had any scenes with Morena or Summer River Fall Phoenix.
Her full name.
Or Jewel. I've gotten to know Jewel more doing these conventions.
Yeah.
Because we were hardly ever on set together unless we had those big kitchen.
Table, yeah.
Yeah, those dining room table scenes, which are
Mess
fun.
hall or whatever.
Yeah.
Cantina. No. Kitchen. I feel like it wasn't. Joss did invite us all to a dinner during the pilot. Most of us. I'm sure you were there. Was that place over on Pico?
Oh, the restaurant.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you were there. Good.
The restaurant.
But Nathan really was the one who brought us all together. I feel like he captained outside of work.
Yeah.
Truly.
He did.
He will tell you what to do.
We'd all end up in that nasty little chlorine pool in his old house back there.
I'm having a party. Yeah, he would throw parties. He like sent like 8 people and like no snacks.
Cheese. I remember a lot of cheese.
Yeah, definition of party. But still throws very nice parties actually. They've come a long way.
He's gotten better.
He's got like
More cheese now.
more cheese. So many cheese options.
It's a bigger pool.
Yeah, a bigger
Sure.
pool and people. The cheese is brought to you by people that
Yeah.
you've never met.
Cheese servers.
Yes,
Right,
cheese
yeah.
sir.
So the show obviously came to an abrupt and too soon end, but then
Yes.
the movie came to fruition. What was the process like between the end of the
Alan
show?
came to an abrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. But you know, and Joss has stated that it's a spoiler, guys, if you haven't seen the movie. Joss has stated that that wouldn't have happened if the show would have been continuing. This is a picture moment, guys. Go ahead. What was it like when you guys got the news that Serenity was going to move forward?
Disbelief.
Yeah, because we've been hearing, because he had said from the day we were canceled that he wasn't done, and it was kind of sad because it was like,
Dude, it's done.
really? He said, "I'll do etchings. I'll do etchings if that's all I can do to make this show, to continue these stories and continue these people." And I was like, "That's awesome." And then it wasn't happening. It wasn't working. And I remember that's when I gave him that button that a lot of people know about this, the button that was in Out of Gas, and that they, hit this and everybody will come running. And because it was an addition to the set, it wasn't actually drilled on, it had been glued on with this stuff. So I was trying to take everything when we were done with that show. The only thing I could get ripped off of that set was that. Oh, that came out. Took it with me. And then I know that he was trying to make the movie and was having trouble, and so I went and dropped it off at his office and said, you know, whenever you get help, or whatever the line is. Yep, that line. I love that Firefly fans are not like Star Trek fans. It's just not that kind of show. We're like, well, the line was specifically, and you wore this, you hit this button for this,
Some
and this
of
button
y'all
for this.
are, though.
It was like a Western.
Hey, they're just happy there was a show for them,
Right,
you know.
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
So to do the movie was, as you said, was a surprise.
Yeah, and it was 2 years later,
Yeah, about 2 years later.
and he pushed that button, and I got the call, and we all got the call.
What is that beeping?
And we were, and we were
Is that a smoke alarm?
back at that restaurant,
Right.
Pico,
Yes.
where he gathered us all, and we're like, and you'd heard like rumblings, but who would
Suddenly
think?
Summer was getting into shape and do karate kicks.
Yeah,
What's that about?
and he said, yeah, we did it. We're doing a movie.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I was like, I can't wait to see how this ends.
Did he tell you, or did you have to read it?
He told me before I read it.
Painful.
Yeah.
Tim.
Spoiler alert. Look at page 86. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
But he's very good, you know, his whole, in killing Wash, the captain says, hey, we might have to lay down our lives, you know, the stakes are this high. And that if somebody didn't die, then it wouldn't really, it'd be like that, it'd be lame writing. And then also, with Wash dying, you think everybody's gonna die after that, and it actually gives you that feeling of, oh my God, everybody's gonna die.
Yeah, because we had lost Book, and I hated
Yeah.
that scene.
Yeah.
And then of course I really hated that scene.
And then Wash died, and you're like, book who? This is what real grief feels like.
Exactly.
You know?
And then I get injured.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of on a suicide mission because I don't care.
I always think of that outtake of you being injured where he was trying to do the foam gun. Y'all seen that? I think probably a lot of people have. It goes, and does like this big. Anyway, it's on the extras. You check it out in the end.
Check out the extras. Do you guys want to talk to Gina and Alan?
Oh,
And
yeah.
ask them some questions? There's 2 mics in the aisles, so you can line up there.
And I've got a bag of.
You got a bag of tricks?
Yeah, I call it my. There's probably kids in here. It's a bag of shit. It's mainly not great stuff. That if you ask a question, you can just come up and I'll hand it to you. You'll get that whole prize of shit. So enjoy that.
But there's every once in a while a nice little nugget in there.
Yeah.
To make it fun.
Nugget.
We'll start over here. Hi.
Negative.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Charlotte from Chicago. This question is for Alan.
Yes.
My friend and I are wondering what is on your socks.
Oh,
That is hard hitting. And I can Steve,
white lens. This is a Christmas present from my wife.
Brilliant. Chicken.
I like that.
That was on our wedding, whatever's that thing where
Yes. Yes, it was.
there was a, yeah, what is it called?
An invitation?
No, the registry.
A registry.
Registry.
I like that of all the questions in this room,
It was an important
favorite
one
guy.
I needed to know.
it was hard pressing. And for that, Alan, what does she get for that sock?
Oh yes, it's actually this is less shit, I think. This is it's a Spectrum comic that Spectrum was the show within Con Man, which you are. And, we wrote a couple of these.
Over here.
So I can't see anything up here. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Hi.
It's like a restoration play.
Hi, my name is Amanda. I'm from Chicago. This question is for Alan.
Yes.
I I was hoping to hear a little bit more about the next bit for Con Man. I was one of the original funders, and I was just wondering what the next steps were going to be.
Thank you. I just want to say
Your
thank you,
producer would like to
Yes,
speak
my
to you.
producer. I just want to say my favorite episode. My favorite episode of both seasons is the one that you did. It was so good. If anybody has seen it, it's the voiceover episode, and you play the director voicing over a game. It's Milo Ventimiglia, and he was doing a little show called This Is Us. Have you heard of it?
Yes?
It's done well. It's done well.
I haven't been able to.
Well, it's it's tough. It's a tough one to catch. You have, but put it on your DVR if you still have one of those. Anyway, there's no plans to do another one. I know, but if we did, I think that like a major thing that would happen. My character would have to be shunned from cons altogether, because he's really just rude to the fans. He does not appreciate them near enough, and I think that something would have to come out that the fans would just be like, "That's it, you're done," and then he'd have to find a way back when he loses everything and he realizes, "Oh, I had everything. Oh, how do I get back to that?" And so that would be his trek back.
Oh,
His journey.
That would be his journey. So this is from Con Man. Baycon was in the first season, Baycon, and the Baycon. So this was one of the con bags that people had. This is one of the props.
Thank you. And Alan, season 1, especially of Con Man, you literally did everything. It seems like you wore every single hat. What was the takeaway lesson from that experience?
Hire more people.
Good advice.
He was brilliant, by the way. That episode that I did, he was so caring. He was on everything. He was detailed. He was, yeah, you were great.
That's very.
I mean,
nice.
occasionally
Here's what you get.
you'd go up there.
Sign
Send
this.
that out to
Gina.
my favorite pretend wife.
Yes. Favorite pretend wife.
Thank you. That's
XXOO.
There.
And that's so sweet.
And he was hot. So.
Oh, another
Yeah,
XO.
super hot.
There we go.
Yeah.
And Gina was in the crowdfund also. It wouldn't have happened without Gina, which if you remember the crowdfund or saw the crowdfund, I'm jumping from place to place to place to gather celebrities to be in Con Man. And that's a really hard thing to do as far as when you're just calling friends going, "Hey, I'm gonna do a thing. I swear it's gonna be good. Would you please help me ask people for money to make it?"
He said, "I want to take you to lunch." I said, "Okay." and we're talking and talking. He goes, "I'm doing this thing, and I would really love it if you could." I said, "Okay." Let's just talk about stuff. And he goes, "No, but I go, no. I said okay." And then we just started talking about lives and catching up and whatever it is. And then was it the same lunch, or did we talk on the phone or something about making the video?
Yes, it was on the phone.
It was on the phone, and he's telling me about jumping from place to place to place, and I went, "I think I have an idea." He said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, but you're gonna have to get wet."
I'm in. I love moisture. And so we did it in her pool. What a badass! Like,
that's fun.
I swear, like, can you imagine, I mean, Alan, you have to be in your basement. What? How much time do I have? I gotta lay off the cards, and I gotta do. She's like, "Come on,
Just
baby,
shoot it
so
wide.
let's do it. Come on." And there were no. You were just like, "Let's do it." It was fantastic.
No, it was
My
the
wife
best
did the
time.
sound.
I have the best picture of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
Hi.
Hello, my name is James. I'm from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and my question's for both of you. It's kind of sad, but with Ron Glass having recently passed away, do you guys have any favorite memories of him?
all my memories of Ron Glass are my favorite memories.
Yeah.
He was such a brilliant, sweet, bright light.
Yeah. He was a really good guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, I knew he was a good guy.
Yeah.
But he was better than that.
Yeah.
Like he helped people in life, and like his funeral, so many people came out because he was a Buddhist, and he devoted his life to helping others.
Yeah.
Who does that? That's an actor. I mean, actors, they're really into themselves. I signed this. This is a book.
I'm gonna sign it too.
This is. I have a memory of being in a. Oh, it's called Old Man's War. It's a book I read. Really good book. I don't know if you've read it or not, but I don't. It's a paperback. It doesn't look good on a shelf. So there you go. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
That was a piece of shit. See?
Hi.
Hi.
I think the mic isn't working for you.
It's not on.
We can hear you.
Better.
Okay. Anyway, so you, Gina, this question for Gina. Before, recently we have had a lot more representation of women of color being badass superheroes. You were kind of the first one, and for like a Latina, like myself, who it was really awesome to see your last name. Do you know, like, I'm really emotional. Do you know the impact that it made to see you on television and play this awesome badass woman? And how does it feel to kind of like be the hero to be one of like the first women to pave that path?
I can't say that I went into it for that. That's, you know, you choose to be an actress, or being an actress chooses you, and then you're obsessed with just trying to get work and pay your bills and eat, in that order. So it is such a blessing and an honor to hold that place. I'm not done yet. I'm just getting started. And so my intention is to not only be the woman that you see, but also the woman that's behind the scenes making things happen and continue to open doors and create characters and content that include all of us, that include all of our stories, because we all have extraordinary stories to tell. So thank you. I'm not done yet.
And you know what, Gina? Isn't that what it's all about, coming to events like this where you get to interact with people who are passionate about you and your work? Sometimes in Los Angeles or New York, we live in sort of a bubble, but coming here and to hear that makes,
It makes all the difference. I try to explain this to people, and it's almost impossible to explain. And this was 15 years ago, almost 16 years, 16 years ago this year. And it's energy. It's all of this energy that we put out there as actors. When you do film and you do TV, theater's different because there's an immediate exchange. But when you do TV, when you do film, there's this wave, this infinite wave of energy that keeps touching you, that in some cases with you is touching your children. I'm signing posters for 15-year-olds, for 13-year-olds. They weren't on the planet when we were doing our shenanigans. Right?
Nope.
That's what... You did know that's what I was mean.
I did know what you
meant.
meant.
The energy thing.
Where you're touching the children with your energy.
Okay.
This is for This is a really cool thing. This is a blue sun. It's a leather bound. It says blue sun on it. There you go. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm getting that. Someone made
So,
that
yeah.
for me, but she made another better.
I'm just saying thank you. Because we finally get a response.
And same thing.
It's like a time capsule.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Laurel. I run a Firefly fan blog called Fuck Yeah Firefly, and I'll be on a Firefly panel on Sunday.
Fuck you.
Fuck Yeah Firefly, not Fuck You Firefly.
That was different.
Yeah, as in, yes, okay. The Firefly verse has expanded quite a bit since the show, since the 14 episodes, and now we're getting 4 novels set in the universe of Firefly, and I was wondering what you would like your characters and the rest of the crew to do in those novels.
Breathe.
It's pre-Serenity. The first one is pre-Serenity.
I got my wish.
What would you like to see them do?
What was
Gina has an answer.
your character to do?
It's pre, so we're all here.
Yep. The first one, anyway.
Word skirt?
Oh, nice. It's not just Jane anymore.
No.
So this is another Spectrum comic. I think it's a different cover. Got Nathan's mug on there. It's signed by me, by Gina, by Nathan, and by PJ Harzma, who also produced it, and Sarah Stone, who drew it. Yes.
Thank you.
I know, I got a bunch of shit.
It's like Mary
Hi.
Poppins back in there.
Hi, my name's Amelia. I'm from Chicago and area, but I go to school in Cleveland. Cleveland? Woo!
Cleveland in the house. There we go.
So I always try to make a point to cosplay in casual, comfy clothes, like the Kaylee outfit I have is so incredibly comfortable. What has been your most comfortable and uncomfortable outfit you've had to wear for any of the things you've done?
Ever in their career?
Probably stuff we've seen on TV.
Okay.
Wear that.
Most uncomfortable wardrobe.
Comfortable for me would be K2SO. He was in it was a motion capture suit, so that was pretty free. I did wear stilts, so that was a little tougher, but still very comfortable. Uncomfortable, I don't remember. Probably something. Oh, in 42, I wore all wool on a hot day in Atlanta. Yeah, that sucked, but whatever.
I'm racking my brain trying to figure out what was comfortable. It's all uncomfortable.
Yeah, as a woman, I imagine it's more
All uncomfortable. Uncomfortable.
comfortable suits.
I'm sewn in. There's some wardrobe in suits that I'm literally sewn into, and have to be cut out of at the end of the day.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. There's it's true. And then there's the 5-inch stilettos
No,
that I march around in.
that's.
In those. There was, the rubber hot pants in Cleopatra 25.
I was gonna say, those are, yeah.
So no. And then Firefly tight, and hot. We'd be out in the desert.
Oh yeah.
And Nathan got sunstroke once because we were
Still fun.
we were out in the desert. I'm sure I've told this story before, and full on like leathers, like the trench coats and the vests and the boots and it's like 118 degrees, and we'd have to between action and cut, we were animated, we were fast, we were banter, it was great, and then the minute they'd yell cut, we'd go. So that happened. But there was one scene in Alias where I was dressed as a waiter.
And that was comfy.
That was comfortable.
Yeah. We got to one. That's good.
Yeah.
We found one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
30 years.
Yeah.
One comfortable outfit.
This is a book called
Wait,
Theater
yes.
Games for the Lone Actor. It's like sad. You know? Like, you're just alone.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, my name's Amanda. I'm from Evansville, Indiana. And I just wanted to ask Alan about Dollhouse because I fried when it was canceled. And if you had gotten like more seasons to develop Alpha, like I want to know like your feelings toward it because he just did a 180.
Yeah, right?
I wanted development.
Well, no? I don't know. Here's what Joss wanted, I think. This is what I remember. After the first season of Dollhouse, it fast forwarded into the future, right? And then we did it again in the second season. But he wanted to bring back the second season in that future and just shoot the show from then on, which would have been really cool. But, Fox. So this, I'm never gonna work for them again. Is FX, I like them. This is a Dollhouse script. This is the front page. Somebody just ripped it. But it says Alan.
I'm right here.
There you go. It says Alan Tudyk on it, so you know that it was mine. There you go. Cheers. Well, what episode is that? Episode 213, so second season, Epitaph, Return. So I think that's when I was nicest, maybe? I don't know. Or when I was
Thank you.
I don't know. I think that's the one where I blew somebody up.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Lunt. I'm from Skokie, Illinois.
Skokie!
Skokie!
The fight with badgers.
I've got one question and I've got to make it weird.
Okay.
Do you mind if I just pop up and get a group hug with the Wash family?
We can't do that right now. I'm sorry, because then everybody would want a group hug. So go ahead and think of
But
your
way to
second.
make it weird.
Yeah.
All right, then my
Ooh,
second question that I'm not allowed to have.
Yes.
War Stories was my favorite, hands down favorite Firefly episode. It was, just cut to a very emotional level. Was it that emotionally charged filming it, or are you just kind of going through it, trying to get it out and through production?
It's a good question.
You're about to say which one was War Stories, aren't you?
Yeah, how intense is it to film those scenes?
I just remember Nathan saying, pull my finger.
That was tough to get through.
True story. Sometimes you have to lighten the mood to get through it, and that was his way of lightening the mood, if not the atmosphere.
And he always did.
Yeah.
Did you ever see here's how this is. Yeah, this is awesome. It's the outtakes or the where we're all around the guy who's in the casket, and it's that really sad, and that's one of the last episodes we're shooting. That's it. We're almost done. We're already canceled.
Right. Yeah.
And Nathan, we're going around the circle, and Nathan keeps running from each person to each person before you get to him. Even in those moments of where it's really sad, and it was truly sad because we were done.
Yeah.
And we knew we were done. And, so he always made it fun. So this is whenever you're a guest, you get the special thing. This was Star Wars celebration. This was my first Star Wars celebration. Special guest. That was my thing. There you go.
Congratulations. Hi.
Hi, my name is Jerome Green from Chicago, Illinois. This question is for Gina. You hear all these great stories about Keanu Reeves and everything. Is he really like that? Because I know you worked with him on The Matrix.
for the record, I love Keanu. I really did. I came to love Keanu. He is so not what his persona or what people are led to believe he is. He's one of the smartest, most brilliant people I've ever met.
Wow.
He really is, and he's funny. I know, right?
Like
That's
where
a
mine.
well-kept secret. And he's great, and he's kind, and he's generous, and a little bit of reclusive.
Hopefully you'll be in John Wick 3.
Wouldn't that be great?
That would be great. You guys want her in John Wick 3? What do we have here, Alex?
This is a Rolling Stone. Still some of my address on there. Some good articles in that there.
Congratulations on that. Hi.
Hi there. I'm Teresa. I'm from the Lansing area. My question is mostly for Alan, but Gina, you can answer it too if you want.
Okay.
So obviously we know you well from your live action stuff, Firefly, A Knight's Tale, Powerless, that sort of thing. But lately you've been doing a lot of voice acting, and so that opens up more roles that you might not normally play, like Hey Hey the Chicken and that sort of thing. So my question for you is, what role or type of role have you not gotten to play yet that you would really like to try?
Gina, you can take this. What role have I not had a chance to play that I want to play?
What do you want to play? I would say, because you talk about it all the time.
All the time.
That you, see, I almost don't want to give it away.
Right, I can see. It almost just catches in your throat.
It does, because it's so intensely personal for you.
You know what role I would like to play, which we got to do in Firefly, but it was canceled. I don't know if you heard about it. A little too soon.
Was it?
It's canceled.
That's why I keep showing up and no one answers.
Yeah. That was like top 10 shows that shouldn't have been canceled so soon. Is a romantic character. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I don't play those. I've done them on stage, but never really in things. I'm always like, we got a weird character we can't get. You know who? Call that guy. You know the one who played the pirate and that gay German character and the robot? Get the robot pirate German dude. I think he's English. Call him.
No, I have the same problem.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm a scary chick that no one ever wants to hook up with because they might lose a part.
This is the spectrum.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Right?
I see an opportunity here, though, for development.
Oops. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers. First comic I ever wrote right there. I've written comics, too.
So you guys, they need a love story, right?
Need a love story.
You need a love story.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Linda. I'm from Wheaton. How do you guys feel about people who get tattoos of lines you said from the things that you've done?
Oh.
Do you have a tattoo?
Yes.
What line is it?
I'm a leaf on the wind, watch how I soar. It's on my shoulder.
So you finished the sentence. Okay, that's good.
That's right. I'm a leaf on the wind, watch how I and just finishing the small on the back.
I'd imagine there's a certain flattery in that.
Oh, yeah. I had a thing where, like, some people ask you to sign on their skin and they'll get a tattoo of that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was a little weirded out about that because that's like permanent on people's skin. I was out to dinner with Bruce Campbell and mentioned this. Oh, I signed somebody's skin today. They're gonna get a tattoo. Oh, I'm not the greatest. Yeah, but isn't it a little? I mean, it's gonna be permanent. Yeah, that's the point, man. Look. Great advertising. Great advertising. You gotta keep a pen for photographs, a pen for like cloth or shirts or backpacks or whatever, and then a pen for skin. You don't want to take a skin pen and then try to do a skin pen on a photo. It gets smeary, you get that grease on it. Like he's got the whole thing down.
Some big wisdom right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here is a, you put this on your door when you want them to change the linens.
That's a good one. Congratulations.
Hold on to that.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello, my name is Gina Shireman, spelled properly.
Oh, nice.
And in The Heart of Gold, you talk about having a baby.
Yes.
How would that scene have gone with Zoe telling Wash she was pregnant?
Well, first of all, whose was it? Because it could go.
Hey now.
If it wasn't Wash's, it would be a very different scene.
Hey.
I'm sorry.
Would have absolutely been Wash.
Thank you. Good. So it would have gone. I think that part would have been beautiful. It would have been the part when you wanted to go out on a mission with the baby in your belly.
Like 8 months pregnant.
Yeah. And I said, "There's no way you're going. You're staying home."
You're staying home. I actually, yeah. You
Right?
know, I think that scene would have absolutely gone beautifully because we talked about that and talked about having a family. But then I would take it a step further and actually being like 7, 8 months pregnant and being really upset and hormonal because my gun belt doesn't fit anymore. And, you know, and then it gets in the way and my shot's off. Yeah, and having Jane talk me down.
Talk you down from being upset?
From being like, yeah,
Oh,
from being
that's
upset,
great.
right?
I can see that whenever I get upset.
Yeah. You know, beer is big enough now, you can do the counterweight. And,
Yeah.
What is this little gem?
My room key. From last weekend in Las Vegas. There you go. I was there with my wife. Don't be shy.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Kurt. I'm from Detroit.
Hey, Kurt.
And very quickly, I always thank the Whedon people. Buffy, Angel, Firefly helped me through my mom's cancer and her death. I couldn't have done it without you people. Claire, I've talked to you about this before, so thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. My mom became a closet Whedon fan. Wanted to ask this, with the X-Files and Roseanne and Full House all making these comebacks,
Right.
it seems the idea of a Firefly Serenity comeback isn't pie in the sky as it would have been one time with all these shows being revived. What's your take on that? And I know Josh could probably bring back Wash in some creative way.
I don't know about that. About bringing back
Clone him.
Wash. I know, but he said that it doesn't really exist in the world. Although in that one episode where we cut off the captain's ear, Jane goes, "What are we supposed to do with this? Cloning?" So it does seem like it does exist in that world, but I think you just would have to be taught everything again, and that would not make for a good season at least of how to wipe. NBC us this fall. I think Fox actually came out and said, "We will make more Firefly episodes." Somebody said that. We'll make more Firefly
Someone's
episodes.
always saying that, though.
If Joss is on board. And I was like, now.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
No, I don't think so. No, Joss has
I
said
don't
he's
think
not
he
going to do it.
Yeah.
Sorry. He at the 10-year anniversary, he came out and said, "Look, I don't want to screw it up. You know, it's kind of just existed on its own. Everybody's gotten older and less talented." That was unnecessary. That was unnecessary. He was harsh. It was a tough day for me. No, I think it should be an animated show, but I also think it will come back. And this is just my opinion, out of my own brain, that means nothing. Is that as long as you have the captain As long as you have Nathan, you can wait till he's like 60. That's like in 2 or 3 years. And then he's like on a moon somewhere. Somebody comes and knocks on his door. He's like out in the middle of nowhere. He's giving it all up, and they go, "We need you." And then he puts a crew together.
Yeah.
You can come make an appearance. Everybody can come in a little bit, maybe even be on board for a while. But you got it. If you've got that. And he dusts off the Serenity, he pulls a tarp up, "I've still got her," something like that. Some old Chevy in his garage. Just turns her over now and then just to hear her hum. In the good old days. Jane's become a companion. It could be a really good world to revisit. This is another Spectral comic. Here you go. This is, yeah. Which one is this? Oh, number 1. It's the first in the series. Here you go. Cheers.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Alan, Gina. My name is David. I'm from Milwaukee. For the past 3 years and going into this year, myself, my girlfriend, and 5 good friends of ours have been running a Can't Stop the Serenity event in Milwaukee. How does it, thank you very much. How does it feel to know that about a year and a half of your life 16 years ago has inspired fans worldwide to contribute and donate over $1.2 million to Equality Now and other charities?
Feels like we could do better. That's amazing. That's incredible. That's incredible. The brown coats, oh no. The West Coast Brown Coats?
California Brown Coats.
Thank you. Good God. California Brown Coats. California Brown Coats, because they pick a charity every year, and they let me pick, and so they raise like $5,000 for our charity to build a school in Ethiopia. So to help build it, it didn't mean the whole thing. But yes, it's fantastic. That's insane.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing when you ask, are you surprised that it's not lasted this long? Not just that the fandom has lasted this long, but the fans have now gone on and created these incredible, institutions and organizations in our name, in the name of the show.
Well, the messaging, the messaging carries on, and it's just a testament to, there being like something, a core value set within the show that has now been passed on and is being applied to the real world.
Yeah. Talk about like that energy you put out into the world. I mean, that's potent energy.
Yeah.
That's
good stuff.
Good for you guys.
Way to be potent. Thank you for like carrying the torch, like grabbing it and going, here, I'm gonna do something good with this.
Actually, last year in Milwaukee, we were the highest raising city worldwide.
Oh man, fantastic.
We're planning to top it this year.
Brilliant.
Congratulations.
Here's a comic book. Spectrum. Yeah, cheers, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
My name's Dave. I'm from the Detroit area, and so as a kind of aspiring, as like a aspiring and failing filmmaker, I know that a lot of actors bring a lot of themselves to their roles sometimes, but some of the best performances reach further and far beyond anything they could ever be. What are some roles that you guys, both of you, Gina and Alan, feel like you that you really felt like you reached further, the deepest and darkest, or the highest and brightest, much farther than you feel you could ever become yourselves?
Perhaps characters that are the most different from you or don't have the social inhibitions is kind of what I'm hearing.
Oh. I can, oh. It's not, K2SO from Star Wars, I got to do a lot because I didn't have, because I was motion captured, that I knew like when you're acting, everything you do in a take is there. But I knew that they could, after doing iRobot, they could take your head off of one take and put your head on the other take and put it on the body motion of another take. They can really screw with you in post. Which gave me, having that experience gave me freedom. So I would do it where I'm like, all right, I got it. And I'm just gonna screw with everybody. And they put most of my "screw with you" lines in the movie, which were not my lines. Oh yeah, this whole like I slap Cassian and say, and there's a fresh one if you mouth off again. And they put it in the movie. A droid says that? Yep. And it's great. It's in the take of the movie, you see Diego Luna. He covers his face because like, he's slapping, but you can see the smile. He's about to laugh. It's just a laugh because I'm smarting off and saying all these lines. Diego bitched about it in one or two interviews. This fucking guy.
But I kind of have a sense you may have done that with Wreck-It Ralph and King Candy too.
Oh, yeah, they let you play with that.
Yeah.
They let you just go. There was one joke, just really quickly, that did not make it in the movie. You tell me if this should have made it in the movie. All right. King Candy's there. There's the roster race, and they all have to see who's going to be in the race. And that's when Wreck-It comes out of this taffy thing, and he's chasing Penelope Mutton Fudge, and he starts knocking over all the things, and all of my subjects are running around, and the race is now stopped. And whoop, stop it, please! Don't stop! I don't want a race ride on my hands. Because it's a race. And you're right, never mind. And they showed it in one theater in Arizona. Silence. Evidently, a lot of silence. Yeah, in Arizona. Yeah. Well, I mean, just evidently, it was not a good ad lib.
Genius. That was genius.
Gina, when you work as an actress, do you work from the inside out, or do you take physical components to change your look and how you feel, and then develop the character that way?
You do that kind of stuff?
I don't do anything.
Oh.
Both. I think it all goes into the. I mean, you have some idea. You read the script, you have some idea of where you want to go, and then you start putting the layers on, like you know what you have on and what you're wearing.
Like literally.
Like literally what you're wearing. Your costume informs how you walk, how you hold yourself, how you know. And
how you're sewn in.
How you're sewn into your costume, and who you are in the world. Like it's another clue in. So yeah, so you start with the script, so that's all inside, and then there's the outside bit. But to that last question, you know, when I was playing a woman that was dying of cancer in Hannibal.
Oh God, I was really good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that was really good.
Thank you. And I remember my first day of work was, actually my second day of work, was the scene where my husband finds out, and he's waiting for me as I'm leaving Hannibal's office, and so I have to tell him. I have to come clean. And one of the producer's best friends was there, and I found out after we shot the scene that she had been battling cancer and was now clean. Like she got her you know, her last, but I came from, you know, outside of set, and she was like weeping, and she said, she just kind of gave me the nod, like that's what it is. And I was like, okay. Okay,
And then
that's what you want.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you for that
And
question.
another extra who eats people gave Mads the nod.
That's what I miss again.
You got that right. I eat people too. You nailed it. Sorry. That's so. Here, you said like a beautiful answer.
Good.
That's horrible. There you go. Are they a sponsor?
I'm not
Enjoy! It tastes like a cough drop, but it'll rot your teeth.
It'll give you mutant children.
Wow.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm from Des Moines. My question is kind of a follow-up to Dave over there's question.
for you, Alan, when you're playing Alpha on Dollhouse, how difficult did you find it to switch characters or personas in mid-scene while playing that character?
Right, because he had like 40, if you haven't seen it, he had 40-something personalities in his brain. Again, call Alan Tudyk. What are we gonna do with this? No, get that guy. No, Joss gave me, it was very nice of him. Yeah, he did, oh, thank you. It was hard. What I found out later from Tim Minear, who, well, it's on the other page I gave away. I think he wrote this episode. We'll never know. Who? Marissa and oh, really? They wrote it? And now they do, yep. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Which is a very, actually it's really good if you ever watch it. Anyway, here we go. Alpha's on this page. What was the question? Oh yes.
Was it hard to switch it between?
Yes, it's hard to switch. It was, but I found out from Tim Minear, who didn't write this episode, that he had in mind a character that was a 9-year-old girl that had made it in early drafts that Tim was like, we gotta get rid of that 9-year-old girl. And I was so glad he did, because that would have been nothing but comedy coming from me.
Pure comedy.
Yeah, it would have not, so here's a page. Oh, I thought Alpha was on this page. He's not.
But your name is.
There you go. Man, thank you.
Thank you. We have time for one more question
Oh
from
my
each
God,
side.
this stuff is terrible. I really.
One last question.
One here and one here, so hi.
Hi, my name is Stephania, and I'm from Cicero, Illinois, but I go to school in Ithaca, New York. My question for both of you is, what's your favorite memory from being on the set of Firefly?
Do you have a standout memory from either Firefly or Serenity?
I remember all of us being in the cargo bay. And it was one of those scenes where we were all there, and it was late, and we were all punchy and could not get through the scene. Do you remember that? And it was always the same. Sean would go first.
Yeah.
Sean would be the first one to break, and then I'd catch Sean's eye, but then Jewel would go. For sure. And Nathan would always be the last, but then you weren't far behind me. It was either you or me. Ron never broke. I don't remember Ron breaking.
Really?
I don't remember Ron breaking.
Such a memory.
Like not ruining a take.
Right.
We'd ruin takes. Ron would wait. But that's my favorite memory.
He was a gentleman.
Yeah. I liked our weird basketball-y type game. Remember that? And you don't remember that? In the episode where we're all playing, and then it's like, I think it's the second episode, Objects in Space or something, where there's an alert that's like, who's flying this thing? I don't remember who said that line, but I remember being amazing, that line. And I go, oh yeah, it's me. And I go up and there's a spaceship that we all go on, and the Reaver gets on board anyway. The Reaver wannabe, and then he becomes he is. Oh wait, I just forget that one. I like the one where that same episode where we are all talking, we're being interrogated.
Yes.
That was fun.
That was great. Yeah, I love that one.
Tim, it was not a show that you got to improv on at all. Joss had a very specific cadence to his writing. He wanted to, you know this. It's not can't, or it's not cannot, it is can't. Or on that one, it's probably can't. Tim wasn't on board with that. He was just like, he just wouldn't say cut. And so he just kept talking and talking and talking about, the guy said, tell me about your wife. And then it ended up.
I love that.
Yeah, her back and right there where it meets her legs. Actually, that whole section in there, all of that was fun. So we were just bullshitting.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
so
you.
good.
Great question.
Here is, you gotta sign this one. So that's it. Our timer just went out.
Oh, it did.
This is a Spectrum thing. Thank you all very much. Don't drink that drink.